Yo, this is Damon, with Tsunami Sounds and Twilight Grooves, and you're now rocking with the Business Flow podcast.
Cool. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Damon, and I run the record label Tsunami Sounds and Twilight Grooves, among other things. But those are kind of the two main things that I guess we're here to talk about today.
Fuck yeah. Record label owner, yeah, bitch.
Exploiting people.
Yeah.
Nah,
Taking money. So how did this all start, bro? What was the reason? You know what I'm saying? Let me know all this shit.
Well, there's a lot, in regards to the reason. Like, I feel like it runs deep back into my history. Like, I remember when I was 16, me and my friend Anthony in Sacramento started a little record label, and I didn't even know what I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
This was done.
I didn't know what a record label was. It was just like I just wanted to rap something, and now I guess it's the same thing. It's like I want to rap something, but also I'm trying to like build something. You know what I mean? That can help like me out of poverty, like family, friends, just like lift everyone up. And so I've always kind of been on the grind and making music and stuff like that. And the label thing, it was like a byproduct of what I was doing. Like I didn't even want to build a label, but people like at that point the platform had gotten big enough to where people were telling me like I should do something with it. Like they were telling me, I like some people were mentioning labels, but I was not trying to do that route because it's a lot of work, and at the time when you hear label, you're just like, that's bad. Contract,
bad
like
thing,
robots, companies, no. But, now it's like, it's so dope because for me, it's a way to kind of like, do projects and like get certain people plugged in and shape, the creative culture in some way. So, yeah, I did not even intend for it to be this way, but I just kind of fell into it, to be honest.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
And this is lo-fi, right? For the Tsunami Sounds?
Yeah, for the Tsunami Sounds, it's lo-fi, chill hop, ambient. We kind of do like hella shit. We do ambient, folk. We do like city pop, and like we work with a lot of Japanese artists. We've worked with like hella like 40, 50 countries just like this year alone. So I do a lot of cultural stuff, and that obviously that can vary the genre because like it's some of it's localized, so it's like hella different than what you would hear from another label or just from the mainstream and stuff. So, and with Twilight Grooves, that one I'm trying to be like rap and like funk, and like hip hop, R&B, that kind of thing, and have it be focused more on like a local level on San Jose. Trying to like reverse the effects of gentrification. If I'm getting deep here,
Yeah.
But yeah. So those are the kind of like genres and sounds and stuff.
So for Tsunami Sounds, what was the inspiration or reason why lo-fi and chill hop?
That was because like when I was making beats when I was like 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21, I was making beats and selling them to rappers and doing it on SoundClick, the website. It was like a merchant section.
Making beats for
Entrepreneur.
rappers. 16.
Yeah, it's real. Like I was getting like this one dude wanted to hire me as like his in-house studio or producer, and like I didn't know what that was, and I was hella scared. So like I didn't even tell nobody about it. Like I was like, no, I'm not gonna do this.
Yeah. It's a big deal because you're a teenager too.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I didn't know what the fuck it was. But yeah. So yeah, lo-fi is because like I was making beats already, and I didn't like rap beats after a while because like I was just done with it. You know what I mean? Like you can only do so much on a rap beat.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to like flex my creativity and my imagination, and like it just wouldn't do it for me. So I started like, trying to like make movie music, like scoring films and stuff like that. I was like legit trying to get into that, but that's like a hard ass journey. And so I found myself in the middle ground of like making these weird ass rap beats, but that are also melodic and just kind of weird. And so I never really knew what genre that was, and at the time it wasn't even really a genre. But at a point, when we first started kicking it, I found Nujabes on YouTube, and like I didn't even
beast.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I didn't even know him at that point. I didn't know who he was. If he was in the Japanese scene, I didn't even know he was Japanese. I just like heard the music and I was like, this is dope.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it samples classical shit, hella piano, but it's like a chill beat, you know what I mean? And so I started listening to that for a while. And then eventually that kind of like influenced the style of beats that I would make later on. And this is still all before like I even knew what lo-fi was. And so like fast forward another like 4 years, maybe like 3 years. That was when I got back into music finally after like a hiatus. And that was when, you know, I was on Facebook and like, you know, I was trying to start up a group and like trying to get back into things, making these playlists. And, you know, then like the word lo-fi kept popping up, lo-fi playlists, lo-fi live streams, you know what I mean? All these labels and stuff. And I was like, what is this? And, you know, the more I listened to it, the more I was like, this is my shit. This is the kind of shit I'm making or trying to make at least, you know?
Yeah.
And like now I can put my finger on it. Like this is lo-fi hip hop, or at least at the time it was. Or this is chill hop, you know? And so I kind of just like, you know, assumed like, you know, okay, fine. This is my genre right now. So that's kind of how, that's how I kind of ended up in the lo-fi spectrum. So.
Mm-hmm. So from like making all these playlists and stuff, right? You're saying, or like group chats, I guess, you know, community, because you wanted to start making more beats and shit. When did the word like fucking record label pop in your head?
Honestly, it was kind of like when I was concepting this album. So this is our first project, Waves. It dropped in August 2020. And
hold on, let me stump this right here.
Yeah,
motherfucking vinyl, my boy.
Buy it.
Yeah. This is hella sick though. I want to congratulate you on this shit.
Sweet, thank you.
You know what I'm saying? This shit is like legit, fool.
Appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a vinyl lover, obviously, and killer. You feel me?
Yeah, and like that came along. Like I didn't even think we were gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it was one of those things that you just like, oh, it would be dope if this happened, and it happened.
Yeah. But go ahead and explain the journey to that.
Oh yeah, that was like, you know, because to do a compilation, you have to work with distribution, and distribution is like, you know, if you use what everyone else kind of uses to get onto Spotify, which is like DistroKid, they charge you basically per artist. You know, when you go to upload. So when I'm uploading a compilation of 13 or 14 different artists, like that's like $1,000 I have to pay right there, and like, you know, impossible. So a dude reached out to me, Alex, and he introduced me to the current distributors that I work with right now, and they kind of like handle things differently in the sense that they're better for labels because you can upload as many artists as you want, and you can like have complicated deals, and you know, you can like make things easy with splits. Like, you know, you do something for the project and I'll give you like 7%, you know, and it's easy to do that. So just having that situation, it made it very easy to me to be like, you know, okay, I'm gonna actually hop into a label point of view because I'm able to upload things like this. I'm able to have this type of service, you know. So distribution kind of was like the main thing that got me thinking, because like, you know, that's more of like a business thing. It's not like I wanted to start a label. At that point, I didn't realize that, you know, there's a creative aspect to it in the sense that you're shaping a sound.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want that at the time, but the distribution aspect, the business part of it started to stand out. Like, you know, if I wanted to do this, then I would have to kind of like fall into this model, you know?
But so did you want it to? Is that what you're saying? Or like it just like naturally came to you?
It kind of like I kind of had to do it if I wanted to do the comp, and if I wanted to keep doing stuff like that, then I would have to have like a solid distribution, you know, like a solid plan like that. And basically, when you do that, you are a label when you're doing compilations and stuff. So even if I didn't want to, like, I would have been, you know, a
eventually.
label.
Yeah. So have you always wanted to do like playlists like this though, or like compilations?
Honestly,
or it was just like go ahead.
Kind of, yeah. Like looking back in hindsight, I think I've always been a curator, and you know, because like for me, it started on Tumblr. I don't know if you ever used Tumblr, the website.
No, I remember that.
It's kind of it's like a picture board kind of thing.
Yeah.
And basically, I used to just like scroll like all my days and nights, bro, and like just like find, you know, dope images, and like I would have like a, you know, my back screen, and it would just be hella aesthetic images of, just shit. And I felt like I developed like an aesthetic eye by doing that. And, like I trained my eye with colors and shapes and just the general design principles and stuff. So that's why now it was easy for me to start the label, because I could do a lot of the design work myself, all the production. I kind of had a sense of it. And I feel like it all came from that. And that translates into like curating music, these playlists. Like I want them to be a representation of the shit I like. The label, when you click on it, I want it to be a representation of like the taste that I'm going for, these the illustrator that I contacted on this like was very particular, like I don't just like randomly choose these things. Wait, what was I talking about that? What was the question?
Or why you wanted to do a playlist or like fucking.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, like for me, I didn't necessarily want to do it just for the playlist, but it's just another way that I can like showcase my taste to the world, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like, playlists, a label, whatever, a DJ, you're showcasing your taste to the world. And like, that's what I think I wanted to do. It wasn't necessarily running a label, but running a label can help you do that,
Yeah. So you just wanted to fucking stunt on everyone your flavor.
Exactly. Because
nice.
like not to be boastful or whatever, but I do feel like I have an aesthetic eye. Like I know it looks good packaging wise, like placement wise. I know what sounds good, conceptually, how to make it cohesive, and like that kind of thing. I remember I wrote down in my journal like years ago, and I wish that I could get famous off of my taste.
Nice.
And like, it's coming to fruition.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, it's hella
Anything
possible.
is possible, but
It's
that's
hella
tight.
possible. Yeah.
But I would say that you do have a good following,
Uh-huh.
starting from fucking the
We're
bottom.
getting there, yeah.
Starting from zero, like
yeah.
you do have a good following, so that means you are right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's a lot of people that, really fuck with our music and our projects, and it's hella humbling.
Yeah.
Cause, dude, like each project is at least like 6 months planning into it, like from thinking of the original idea, the concept, like even like getting in that mode, of having the inspiration, and then like thinking about what artists to talk about, and then contacting the artist. She didn't even speak English, you know what I mean? So it's like, how do I tell her this deep ass story, in my head, and she don't speak English, so it helps me to like flex my head there to learn more Japanese and stuff. But it's cool when people appreciate it, because it's like, dude, I put so much energy into that, and like, thank you.
And people are buying it.
Yeah, it feels hella good, and it's satisfaction all day right there.
Nice, dude. So explain the process from fucking just making the playlist to actually having a label, and what comes with being a label owner.
So yeah, so the playlist is like, there's no ownership in that, it's like. And at the time, a lot of curators, which like, you don't do it now, but at the time, curators were saying like, you pay me $5 and I'll put your song on my playlist. Now that's considered payola, and that's like a taboo. You don't do it. But yeah, like for me, there wasn't really any money into it, but the label side of things was a way to kind of like get ownership, to build an actual platform, and to start, building. Because that's what I'm always thinking about, is like how to take things to the next level. And for me, doing the label was the next level, because that's the business aspect, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. So how do what I'm saying, what is the first step to being a label?
Oh, so yeah, that definitely distribution. Without the right distribution, you're not going to be a label, or you're just not going to do many things.
Yeah.
So aside from distribution, you need to have like, you need to be very organized actually, because you're going to be talking with a lot of people. And you're going to need shit like a contract, a write-up. You're going to have like, what you offer as a label to artists, like and some kind of thing to incentivize people to sign with you, you know what I mean? And for that, you're going to have like a personal following, or some kind of like advantage in some way. And for us at that point, it was like kind of like an aesthetic thing. And also a group thing. Like a lot of labels weren't really pushing groups or community. They were just kind of, doing their shit, which is like cool. But like our particular stance was always about community, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like building that channel. So when people, and like still to this day, when people sign with us, the reason is because they want to be introduced to our community. You know, when I post a post on Instagram, hella people show up. You know what I mean? That person gets hella ads. You know what I mean? And so it's like that's I feel like is our advantage. So to be a label, you have to have some kind of like perks to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for that you have to be grinding before that probably. And once you have distribution, once you have like advantages, then really it's just about A&Ring. You know, like
choosing what you want.
Exactly, scouting out artists. You know, and just like having doing, and then you get down to the actual release, which is like planning. You know, like talking with them like, hey, when would you like to release it? So do you have a concept in mind, or would you like me to design a concept for you? And then I'm gonna think about cover art. Does it need to be mastered? What kind of project is it gonna be? You know, when is it dropping? So
before we get to that, explain like how you got a distribution.
Yeah, so that I was hella lucky. A dude introduced it, or he introduced me to like one of the main dudes of a company that I still work with right now. And he introduced us via email, and I replied, and kind of like right then and there it was like, or it wasn't right then and there, like it was a couple months later. Me and the dude were talking, and I signed a distribution deal, and it was just that.
So it was just who you know.
Yeah, basically 100%.
So was it an artist?
Yeah, it was another artist, one that I would always put on my playlist and stuff like that. And that company that he introduced me to, it's invite only. So
oh wow,
that was like another thing. I couldn't have even like applied to it if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it really was all who. And honestly, like the more I go along in this music business, that's being truer and truer.
Well, who you know?
Yeah, who you know. But also, it's like who you know is important. But like you can know Elon Musk, but if you're not sitting down with him and asking him questions, like what's that gonna do for you?
Yeah, if you're whack, it's like, why are you here?
Exactly. He's not gonna spend his time with you. You know what I mean? So like, I'm always trying to ask people questions. You know what I mean? And like dive deeper and see what kind of value they can, like provide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like it's not enough to know people. You gotta ask people. Like there's a couple people that I pay like $100 an hour just to chat on the phone with them.
Damn.
And just ask them questions, like like whether they be they own other labels or they're connected to so and so. You know what I mean? Like I hop on the phone, bro, and pay for the time because they appreciate that too. You know what I mean? And then it's business. The more you fucking talk with each other, then maybe they're not gonna want to charge you after a while.
Yeah.
Then y'all are cool and like that. You know what I mean? But it takes that kind of like that earned. You know what I mean? Like, you got to earn that. And I feel like that's what a lot of this is about. You got to earn your way into these people's, like, attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they can really help you out. But that was, like, a tangent. But, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. So, after you got the distribution, right? Yeah. You already had the community before? Or did you grow
I had that before that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And that was off of just, like I said, just you wanting to fucking make a playlist for yourself as a consumer?
Basically, yeah.
Sweet.
And, like, luckily, the only way to do that was to, like, include hella people in the playlist.
To fucking reach out to people.
Yeah.
Okay, so after you got the distribution, was the idea to make a fucking vinyl?
Yeah, because like I thought of the vinyl first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I didn't even think of the distribution. Like that's how little I knew about it all. Like I did not even know I was finna need that.
Yeah.
But so like I thought I came up with the idea. I was even planning it. I already had shit being submitted to me, and then that was when he hit me up, and so it was kind of in the middle of the process, which made it easier. Like I didn't have to like wait or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, and I find that happens with me a lot. Another tangent. A lot of people like always want to get ready for something, and like have their ducks lined up, but in my experience, don't do that. Because if you don't and you just act hella naive and you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna launch a fucking vinyl. You know what I mean? If you sat there and you're like, damn, I need distribution, I need artwork, what the fuck? You would never start. You know what I mean? That's thousands of dollars. That's connections you need to know.
Yeah.
Immediately, you're like, I'm not finna do this. I would not have accomplished that if I knew everything that I needed to do.
Damn.
But when you start it and, you get all the artists and you tell them what's finna happen, you're getting shit back. It's just a matter of dealing with shit as you go. And, like, like it's much easier that way because it's one by one. You come up, a distribution issue. and then oh shit, miraculously it gets solved. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So a lot of these problems you don't even need to worry about, but like people get hung up on the process in the beginning, and like so that's the tip that I have is like just do shit because you don't need to think about it that deep. Like you will solve the problem when it needs to be solved, and a lot of people just get hung up on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what was the first steps to fucking get this vinyl going besides the distribution?
So this one was crowdfunded. So basically,
That's the name of the website too.
nah. So the crowdfunding is Q-rates or crates. I don't know how you pronounce it, but basically for that, a crowdfund is like you have to get a certain amount of people to back it, and then if that project succeeds, then the company will fully pay for it and then send it to you, so you don't have to pay nothing out of pocket.
Yeah.
And at that time, it was like a challenge because like I didn't know if we would have enough power to get 100 pre-orders. That's a lot of fucking.
That's a lot of people.
you know what I mean?
That need to be committed.
So it was, so it was a challenge, but yeah, and so that was kind of the first thing is that crowdfund, and that was like the only thing really like that had to succeed, or else nothing else would.
Oh shit.
And so I put hella energy into it. That was some of the things that I called people, did some consultation calls with, like, what do you suggest, this and that, and and we ended up succeeding, and so that's basically how this project was possible. It got crowdfunded successfully.
Nice. And then after this one, what did you? Then it was a CD.
Physical, yes.
Physical, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're just doing playlists like what, every month?
Yeah, I do. I update the playlists every like Monday and Friday. I try
On Spotify.
Yeah.
Anywhere else?
Nah, I tried, but it's hella work.
Yeah.
I get like hundreds of submissions every month.
Dang.
And that's a lot of fucking, it's kind of like I've made it to where it's easy to like do, but it is on top of everything else. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And then was this also crowdfunded, the CD?
Nah, this wasn't. So
No?
with the vinyl, it was crowdfunded because like that's vinyl. It's a little harder to manufacture.
Yeah.
But CDs are hella easier to manufacture. They're cheaper
too. Yeah,
hella cheaper.
yeah.
And so with CDs, I didn't need no crowdfunded thing. I just kind of like bought 100 and just kind of sold them for a little margin, and that's that.
Yeah.
So
as you're doing this, what was for your first failure?
First failure,
like to where you just like just mushed face, like fell on your face, like beat up.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, we were talking about this last time, but like, yeah. So about the vinyl. So the vinyl only has I think like 12 tracks on it, or 13 or something. But
12.
Yeah. So there's actually like 14 or 15 songs on the album, and what had happened was like another instance of me being hella naive and dumb. But I didn't realize that a vinyl had limited space.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing about physical.
For timing,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, for timing.
Yeah, so I could only include so many minutes on each side, and I guess the whole album exceeded that limit. So I had to cut 2 songs total, I believe. And for me, that was a L because obviously I'm trying to have everyone on it. Like, why would I make an album and then be like, yeah, but 2 people aren't gonna be on it?
Yeah. Sorry.
You know what I mean?
Sorry.
Yeah, like sorry.
First
guys.
time.
So that was an L. Luckily, the artists involved, like in that cut, they were hella cool about it. One of them actually made it onto the Genesis, so that was like a cool, coming home feeling. But like, yeah, I don't know. That was an L for sure. I was kind of mad about that.
I mean, you live and you learn, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, so how long did it take from fucking making these community playlists, right? Till your first $1 you ever made? How long was the grind?
What was my first $1? Listen, I think technically my first dollars from the label were from Waves. I don't think I was doing playlistings at that point.
Oh,
like,
really?
Like for other companies, because like so I do get paid for playlisting stuff, but it's from other companies that send me submissions. But I don't think I was doing that at that time. So my first money came from Waves, the vinyl, streaming. So digitally, I did get some sales, like in terms of like physical, but most of it came from digitally. Like that album was actually really successful on digital.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it did pretty well, especially for a first album.
Uh-huh.
And like some of the artists on there, like Stan Forby, you know what I mean, feels huge. Is like a lot like Remulac, you know what I mean. Just like there's so many at this point are artists that have blown up now, you know what I mean, and so it's just like it's considered like a timeless kind of like a classic thing where it just has a lot of artists who are now like up and coming. So it's just cool that it was so successful and so dope as a first album, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But what was the question again?
Your first dollar.
Oh yeah, first dollar. The weed's kicking in. But yeah, so the first dollar, so for streaming, right? It starts to report 2 months after the original stream date. So that was in August. So September, October, I got my first check from streaming, and that was about like $490 or $500.
That's sick.
Yeah, and it was cool. I expected nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How long was that grind though? That's what I'm saying.
What grind?
Did you answer that? From like starting your groups.
Oh yeah. My bad.
That was that like, first dollar.
I want to say maybe like it was like a year and a half.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's not that long.
Yeah, isn't it?
But you was an everydayer.
Exactly. I was every morning, and I still work at Facebook, so I was up at 5 on the dot in the morning and just literally glued to the screen until 2:00 p.m.
Damn.
And so that's how I was able to build all this shit, because I had that much free time, and I just dedicated it all to just talking to people.
That's tight, bro. So what was your first big ass win? Was it still this vinyl? Like win as in like I'm accomplishing this shit.
Honestly,
like, this shit is working.
I'm gonna have to say Genesis.
The CD?
The CD.
Oh wow, okay.
Because Genesis was something special.
Yeah.
Like that was birthed in a time where like I was hella like not depressed, but like in a weird mental state, and it birthed the idea of Genesis. And so when Genesis released, I just moved here, and like I was doing a much fucking better. And so the project, it kind of was like a full circle for me mentally. And like this is the way I like do projects. Like I really use them to express myself and like explore my emotions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when Genesis was released, I had created a group chat with all the artists involved, right? And so like everyone started chatting, everyone started meeting each other, and like like, hey, your song was hella dope, bruh. I hella loved this part in your song. Like,
oh, everyone's gassing each other up.
Yeah, and
sick.
Like seeing that, you know what I mean? Like, and everyone was just like congratulating me too. They're like, bruh, this is such a dope piece of work. You know what I mean? Like, this is dope. Like, great work. Like, to me, everyone was hella just like on cloud 9.
Nice.
And like, when I was posting it on social media, like it was getting hella love. Everyone was like, bro, this shit's dope as shit.
Yeah.
We were getting sales, you know what I mean? Like more sales than I expected, which was cool. And like, so all in all, it felt like a hella special time where like so many people kind of like, came just and just like, I don't know, just like rallied around one thing, you know what I mean? That I kind of created. And yeah, so I don't know. And just the feeling it gave me, it was like euphoria, really. Like launch day, it was crazy, you know what I mean? Like it was just like I'm showing the world the CD for the first time. No one knows about it except for like, a handful of people that were involved. But yeah, like that kind of is the feeling that I hella go for, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you were saying that people bought it before you put it online, right?
Yeah. Kyle, shout out. But yeah, he freaking went on our site and bought it. And like on the site I had published it, but I hadn't announced it, you know what I mean? I literally published it like 10 minutes prior. And because like I was just lazy and I didn't want to do it in the morning because I knew I wasn't gonna wake up hella early, so I just did it the night before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this fool went on the night before or whatever and just ordered it, and I was just like, bruh. So that's how I knew. I was like, bruh, this shit's finna be.
That's tight.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the art. So, what like is it this? It's not the same artist, right? Like musicians. Or did you find out like other artists to do the covers and stuff?
Yeah. So for art, for art I contact like different illustrators and stuff like that. For waves, it was hella funny, and like this is another story within a story. But like, some of the people that you talk to, like you don't know who they are, and you would never expect that they're in a position to really put you on. You know what I mean? when they're acting so humble. And like, so this dude just like inboxed me like every like anybody else would. He's just like, hey, you know, what's up? Can you add my song to your playlist? So and so. And I'm just like, yeah, sure. What's up? You know, nice to meet you. Blah blah blah. Chop it up. And so this fool ends up being like, you know, a hella up and coming producer. Like, you know, works with one of the biggest labels out there and stuff.
Fuck.
Hella good illustrator. And so we agreed on a deal, like kind of like a business deal type thing, where I was providing services for him, he was providing services for me, and he was the one that did the design for Waves.
Sick.
And and so he did the front cover, and I don't know if you noticed, but if you look at the back cover, it's a continuation of the picture.
Oh, okay.
So if you have two vinyls back to back, it's like one solid poster.
That's tight.
I'm gonna get posters eventually, but waiting for the demand. But so he did the design on that, and that was kind of like a natural, like he fell into that because he also did the covers of our playlists. Fun fact.
Wow.
Yeah, and so he kind of helped like brand TSUNAMI in the very beginning. Like he gave us like a solid art direction, you know.
Sick. What's his name?
Samport.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, that's how he goes for his designs and his music. His music's dope. He just came out with a new album recently too. Shout out, appreciation.
Yes.
But yeah, so he's dope.
So do you get like multiple artists, like visual artists, not like musicians or producers?
Well, it kind of depends. For that one, no, that one was just him. For Genesis, yes, like the cover and the back.
Yeah, explain this cover and
Yeah.
the fucking inside too, because
So-
that shit's crazy.
So this cover, the back, the CD, and this part right here, and this was made by a Japanese artist named Scion, and she's done a couple of projects before for TSUNAMI, but I just hella like, you know, like the watercolor design.
Watercolor, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like the colors that she uses is like hella the colors of that come to mind when I think of my past, because it was like, you know, old retro anime,
Yeah.
you know, like 80s, 90s Japan, you know, styles and stuff. So this kind of hints at that nostalgia. So she's done a couple projects already, and like, you know, her style came to mind when I was thinking of the project. So I reached out to her for that, and if I can get this booklet out. The inside was done by a dude named Adventure Spirit.
Oh, they're two different people?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's why I was bringing this one up, because this one has two different artists involved.
Uh-huh.
So this is Adventure Spirit, and I forgot how I met him. I think like I don't know if he inboxed me or I inboxed him, but he had some of the dopest art I had ever seen, and I was like, bro, and he had like no followers, none, and like, you know, I mean, and, you know, this is one of those artists you expect to just like be huge, you know what I mean? Like, bro, your talent is out of this world.
Yeah, that sucks when that happens.
Yeah, but it's crazy, you know, finding these type of people, because now we're building. We're building together. You know what I mean? And so I've already, you know, plugged him into another project that our label did with another label. It was like a collaboration a collaboration compilation. And so we, you know, kind of gathered up artists, and I commissioned that dude for the art. So, and he did it and got, you know, some recognition and stuff. So so I've done a lot of work with him. But yeah, so those two artists I put on this CD
for one project.
Yeah,
that's
and
hard.
you know, and that's the kind of stuff I like doing, is like, you know, putting together kind of like artistic teams based on style, and I feel like it's a dope result. You know what I mean? So,
and then also, what other merchandise do you have? 'Cause I know you're wearing a sweater.
Yeah. So I got hoodies. We did have two for our like Save Our World project, and that one so the embroideries were actually custom designed by the guy that did the Waves.
Sick
cover.
Dude.
Yeah, so it was that guy too. So he custom designed two things for us to get it embroidered.
Hard.
So we had those. Those are actually just discontinued though recently. So
really?
FYI, you know what I mean? But
limited edition.
Yeah, you know, if you have one, you have one. You know, and go sell it on eBay. But yeah, so we're gonna come out with a new line probably this winter. Because I'm trying to get new hoodies, new like long sleeves or something, like something hella dope, something updated, modernized. You know what I mean? And also like limited quantity, because like before I was doing that on demand stuff, and now I'm gonna do like limited quantity. Like I'm just gonna buy a certain amount, and that's it.
And that's it. Yeah. So you got a couple different designs for the hoodies.
Yeah.
You got a CD. You got a fucking
CD,
vinyl.
We got stickers.
Stickers, yep.
What else? What else?
You got posters.
Yeah, posters. We got posters.
Uh-huh.
We got cassettes. Well, we have
Just
one cassette.
all day in
You know
this
what I mean?
motherfucker, right?
Yeah,
like
so we got
Bing,
that.
Bing.
And we got, honestly, we got 3 CD projects lined up before the end of this year ends.
Oh my God.
So by the end of this year, we're gonna have, a nice. We have the continuation of this, Volume 2.
Nice.
This is coming soon, and then
Yeah.
we have a whole new series coming out, and that's gonna be dope as fuck. And then we have one coming for Twilight Grooves,
Mm-hmm.
and that's gonna be sick as fuck.
Sweet, brother. So, so say I'm a producer, right?
Uh-huh.
Do I just DM you and be like, "What's up, shawty? Let me get on your playlist," or like, how does this process work for me to get on either one of these, like physicals,
Yeah.
or just on a playlist? Like, what's the difference? Do you choose, like, say I'm like hella asking all at once. Let's start with the first one. Like,
Well,
do I just hit you up?
Yeah. So yeah. You can, but it's best if you hit the label website. I have a submission page, and that you can submit your Spotify link, your IG, and all that.
Mhm.
And so like if you're added, and even if you're not added, you'll get email. As soon as I listen to it.
For the
It's-
playlist?
Yeah, this is for the playlist.
Uh-huh.
As far as like for like label release, if you hit me up on socials, I'll most likely read it. And if it's about a demo release, like I'll most likely listen to it. You know what I mean? Because it's just business. And if it's good, I'll most likely contact you. If it, but it also depends on scheduling. Because like right now, we have hella shit scheduled basically this whole year up until like September.
Yeah.
So I kind of like
Fuck.
paused on it,
Yeah.
paused on accepting. So like, if people inbox me right now, I'll listen to it still, and I'll give them feedback, or I'll be like, bro, this is dope as shit. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? There's been a couple people that I've referred to other labels,
Oh, sick.
hey, I would love to do this, but I honestly don't feel like I would be able to show it the right attention. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Because we got so much shit already dropping. So yeah, so we do get a lot of shit, but sometimes I have to pass it on, and
Yeah.
it sucks because like I would love to just release it all,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a lot of work.
So what about the physicals, right? Like for the
Uh-huh.
next CD, do you already have people in mind? Like, right? So say I'm like, Jimbo produced like 3 years ago, and that shit's fire. And do I come back to Jimbo's song and put that shit on, or is it only current people?
So for me, it doesn't really matter. Like I've had songs on projects that they've just released and I've heard it and I'm just like, bro, let me get it. I want to release this on the label.
Mm-hmm.
And in all cases I've done that, they were hella happy to do it.
Nice.
And for me too, I'm hella chill, so I'm not like, oh, you got to remove it from your library, you know what I mean, or your Spotify. Like, I'm not tripping. You could still keep your shit up there. Like, I just want to also, use
be
it
on
for
your
my
page.
idea. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So and like I'm hella chill about that. Like I've signed songs and like, the dude's like, is it cool if I still sell the beat? Because I sell beats to rappers, and like I'm like, hell, I don't, if that's what you want to do. And if that's how you want, you to feel best in this relationship, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're both getting paid.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so that's kind of how I work on that. But
What do you get more? Like people hitting you up say, "Can I fucking put this on one of the playlists?" Or you reaching out to them and say, "Hey, can I put that on the playlist?"
I like never do that.
No.
Yeah, never. Well, see, yeah, cause like for playlists, like I don't really have to ask. It's just like
people just want to do that.
it's just all public. Yeah,
Nice.
on Spotify, so you can like make your like how you'd make your own playlist.
Mhm.
It's just kind of putting other people's music on it. So, yeah, but I do inform people like when they're added,
Mhm.
cause like when they send it through on the website, they send their email and so I let them know like what playlist it was added to, or if it wasn't, then like I send them like a decline message type thing, So
That's
like
cool.
a system I made.
Yeah. That's cool though, because you're putting a lot of people on this, not just one artist.
Yeah, there's a lot of artists that come through.
Yeah. But they do have an option, right, to do it themselves. Like, hey, can you promote my whole album? Is that a thing?
like if they want a label release?
Yeah, with your stamp on it.
Yeah. So if they hit me in the DMs and if it's dope enough, then I'll send them a link, and that link basically it has like 10 questions. I mean, if that, I don't know. And it has all the crucial things I need to know, and like in there they can also upload their music, and so like I send that to them, and then that just answers all the questions and gets everything out of the way. And then I receive that, read it, listen to it, and then from there, like if it makes sense, then I'll just be like, bro, let's just rent it. Let's rent it. But yeah, and I kind of take everything like case by case. Like I do listen to everything really that gets sent across. I can't really always respond to everything, unfortunately, because it gets crazy sometimes. But I do kind of listen to everything, because you never know what be coming through.
Yeah. And I remember you told me one time that you have like choices on. It was like pretty much like a package, right?
Mm.
Like say I want to put a song, that's package 1. If I want the whole album, it's package 2.
Yeah.
If I want like whatever.
Yeah.
Go ahead and break that down.
Yeah. So all right. So class A, right? So I have it broken down into 4, like A, B, C, D.
If the person wants to get on the playlist or compilation, right?
Like so this is if they want to have like a label release, like an official deal. And for a deal, basically I have 4 different deals that I offer right now. And class A are for projects like these, for the vinyl, and those are like big ass compilations,
It's
like,
a big deal.
Yeah, what I mean, like physical projects where there's like like a campaign involved and shit. And so like percentage wise, this is 60-40, 60 to the label and 40 to the artist.
Of the profits.
Yeah.
So 60 goes to the label, 40 goes to the artist.
Yeah.
And that's only in one song.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And we and now, like I didn't do this before, but like now we do recoup. So basically what that means is so for the amount of money that I spent on the design and like mastering and shit like that, for the actual investments on the project, that money will be returned to me first before I send out profit.
Okay.
So basically, like like once the album is live, all the profit that's generated, it goes back into basically paying off that initial investment.
Yeah.
And then once that's paid off, then all the profit gets sent out, like based on the plan, the 60-40. So.
And you're also doing the physical from the profits. You're getting the physical money from this actual physical CD, and then you're also doing the playlist money too, right?
Yeah.
Or like on Spotify, if you put that on Spotify, is that combined or is that separated?
So, it's kind of separate. Like you're saying, if someone buys a CD, is that the same as like a digital sale?
Yeah.
Nah. So like if someone buys a CD, that's just cash up front. But digital, if you stream it, then it goes through our distributor, and then they take 15% off the cut.
Damn.
And then just off the top, but that's because they actively market it, and like they actually do hella work. So it's kind of deserved that 15%. But like, so it goes through them, and then it goes through us. Or first it goes through the recoup, and then if there is a recoup, and then from there it goes through to the artist. And
I guess what I'm trying to ask is like if I'm one of the artists, right? Do I have to wait for the physicals to sell before I get my money, or can I either or the streaming? And do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So if you're an artist, then you'll start getting paid about 2 months after it drops.
Yeah.
And that's for like the streaming. For physical, you do get paid, but that's a mechanical license thing, and that's on the publishing side of shit. And that's actually like a side of music that most artists don't even touch on because it's hella complicated. It really is complicated, and it's like stuck in the Stone Age. Like this shit is not evolved. Like it's crazy. So it's mad complicated, and but yeah, so artists do get paid, but it's a lot on their end that they have to do in order to claim that payment. You know what I mean? So and honestly, like I'm not even 100% on it, to be honest, either. Like I don't know what I have to do to issue that payment either.
Yeah.
Because this is all new to me. But it's shit that I'm continuously learning about.
Yeah. Okay, so 60-40 for the single.
Yeah.
On the physical form.
Yeah.
And then what's the next one?
So yeah, so then we have Class B. And Class B is basically our like highlighted projects, and by highlighted, what our asset is basically is Instagram, because we have like a pretty solid following and hella engaged following. So when we drop a post, like hella people, hopping on it, showing love, like doing ads and stuff. And if you're an artist that isn't plugged into the community, then being dropped into this group chat can like really, plug you into hella shit. So so that's kind of class B, you know what I mean?
What's the percentage?
So class B percentage is 65-35. And then so class B also is a blog. And
Oh, you get a blog?
yeah. So
sick.
so with this one, I have a writer, Mark Schiermacher. He dude's an amazing writer. And so basically he does like these blogs for us. There's kind of like a side company that I started. It's called Behind Walls Media, and that's focused on like presentation. And like my whole thing is like I'm gonna grow that to basically like say we can design things this good. It doesn't have to be just me or Tsunami, but like if you come to me with an idea, like I'll make you some good shit.
Sick.
You know what I mean? Like it's a presentation, like a digital and physical presentation company.
Yeah.
And so he's been writing for our blogs, and for our blogs he basically breaks it down creatively, like comes up with like interesting scenarios and ideas and thoughts, talks about the artists involved, like he includes quotes from them and stuff. So it's a lot of work, and it's a lot like it's actual like some dope shit, and it puts on the artist. So that 65-35 is like where that's coming from,
because they're putting in more work.
Yeah, and I assigned some of that cut to our writer, so it's like it's more businessy.
Nice.
But so that's class B, and like that's like like it's a lot of focus on in social media terms.
Yeah.
I put a lot of advertising focus on that, like money too, paid advertising. So that's class B, and class C is basically class B but without the blog. And it still gets put on our mainstream page and like social media and all that. And that one is 60-40, so it's the same as class A, but it's just like that's kind of our standard 60-40.
Kind of a less.
Yeah. And then class D is basically like this one's more like for the artist, and it's 70-30. So the artist has 70, and then we have 30.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. So this one we don't like do a blog for. We don't put on our main page. It's kind of like but we do still promote it though. I mean, it's not like we don't promote it or anything. But it doesn't really receive the same treatment as like C, B, and D, or A. So yeah. But for all these projects, we do provide things like posts on Instagram, stories, and all that shit. For class B and A, we have like snippets of the blog and stuff, like hella shit you can post. So it is worth it, like for promotional reasons.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
So where do you see this in 5 years?
5 years. Honestly, I want hella physical stuff.
Yeah.
So I want like really dope series. Like this is Genesis, and it
Yeah.
has like a story behind it and all that
Uh-huh.
concept. So like I hella want series like this, where it's just like so many different thoughts and concepts, and like eventually I want these to turn into like animations
Yeah.
or like comics or something like that
That'd be sick.
with like deeper stories. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like that would be hella dope. So and eventually just our studio. Like physical and just like a company thing. Like, I want to start a local studio to like do label business with, and just like do local recording stuff with Twilight Grooves and all that. But also just to open like a Tsunami animation studio and like have hella good animators and like illustrators on deck
Yeah.
to just like make, like Japanese style animation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Because I remember you saying that you want fools to be like nerds about music and art again, because
Yep.
you can't get that no more.
Exactly. And like do hella dope physical stuff, like posters, magazines,
Yeah.
CDs, you know what I mean? Like that, to me, that's dope. I would buy the hell out of that.
Yeah, I think it matters nowadays too,
Yeah.
because it boosts creativity. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Fundamental.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And everyone's on a screen and shit right now.
Yeah.
And what
That's
I
all
remember what you were saying too is that like like when shit's on like Spotify,
Uh,
like it's kind of just like background music.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it takes away like
That's facts.
the love and feel
Yeah.
of like, you know, because say you worked on a freaking song for like 2 days, and someone's just like, okay, and like doesn't give a fuck about your name or like the movement or to look, you know, into your pages and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to not care, like
For
to
real.
sound like crazy.
And it's just like bland to him because he doesn't understand it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I feel that.
Nice, dude. So, do you have any ideas for your new merch then coming out?
This is like where I'm stuck because I mean, I'm not stuck, but like it's hard. It's expensive to do merch. You know what I mean? So like, you know what I mean? To like get different color embroidery, it's like you have to pay per color, and like that's a lot of money. You know, like, fuck, well, I gotta do that. But I'm trying to pay somebody to do some dope ass design. You know what I mean? Like create like a signature design, like series or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's hard to find someone that can like have that eye of like what will look good on a hoodie that's catchy and trendy and like also represents the brand. You know what I mean?
So, we mainly talked about Tsunami Sounds. I want to know what sparked the idea for Twilight Grooves.
Oh yeah, Twilight Grooves. So why did I?
Because this one's like new too, right? It's like you don't have no physicals in it yet.
Yeah, basically. Like I started Twilight Grooves like, and it wasn't really much different from Tsunami at that time. It was like a lo-fi chill hop thing, and I kind of wanted it to be lo-fi, but like it wasn't that. And what was? Oh yeah. So I work with a South African group, Lokish Lavish, and like they're hella dope. And we're actually working again, so that's sick. So and like that news came the other day.
That's tight.
But yeah. So they put out an album with us, and yeah. So that kind of like and like that one's hella funky. It's hella ghetto album, and you know it was like unconventional. It got no love from the community.
Dang.
You know what I mean? But and like that's how different it was. People just
yeah.
weren't used to it. You know what I mean? And so I wasn't really mad. I was like, whatever, you know.
You
like,
put it on Tsunami Sounds?
Nah, it's on Twilight Grooves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's on Twilight Grooves. So,
and it got no love?
Yeah, I got no love.
People aren't really kind of fucking with it, really?
Yeah, but like that was kind of our first release on Twilight Grooves too.
Yeah.
And so, you know, people weren't really used to the label either.
Yeah.
But at this point, now we drop funky shit, and people are like, "Bro, we've been needing this. You know, we want
what?
it." Hey, yeah, like you go look on our Instagram, we got like comments for days. You know,
that's tight.
But at first, people were like, they weren't ready. You know, you can be ahead of your time. You know what I mean? And and like I've found that I am often ahead of my time. Genesis did not get the love.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna get, to be honest. Like streaming wise, this is like our worst performing project.
Wow.
Yes.
Dang, dude.
But physical, our best. Interesting, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
There's because it's different crowds, dude.
Exactly.
So that's why I feel like when you did Twilight Grooves, like I feel like this it was still like kind of attached to the Tsunami sound. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
then once you have to give it time to like separate.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
For the Twilight Grooves.
Yep.
But yeah, Twilight Grooves does have funky ass shit, bro. I fuck with that.
It's getting more and more, you know. It's and like that's a part of the struggle of building a label or A&Ring or whatever is like finding the artist that you hear in your head, you know, like the vision of the sound.
Yeah.
And like, you know, lately I've been working with some solid artists like J.C. We actually just landed another editorial yesterday, I believe. And so this is like another, you know, fat dub.
That's tight.
Like, this shit has like 400,000 subscribers, so like
Dang.
our shit's getting put on, you know.
That's hard.
And the first one that he got, that shit's at like 900,000 streams right now. And
what?
He got that only a couple months ago, so it's finna hit 1 million streams. And that's gonna be Twilight Grooves. That's actually gonna be our first 1 million streamed song. We haven't gotten one from Tsunami yet.
Wow. So you're saying Twilight Grooves is already
it's finna be there.
What?
But it's crazy because like on Tsunami we do have one that's like 990 million. I mean,
thousand.
Yeah, 990,000. So it's kind of like it's equal. You know, it's like which one's gonna break. But I never thought Twilight Grooves would be in this position. You know.
Dang, that's tight.
Yeah.
Where do you see that one in 5 years?
Hopefully physicals. Hopefully like doing physical events kind of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
hopefully
Like festivals or something.
yeah, like if we had a studio,
Concerts.
I feel like that would be dope.
Yeah.
And like we could host like kickbacks or something like that. You know what
Uh-huh.
I mean? I would hella like that. And I don't know, I would hella like to do that and just like have physicals and just like dope ass just dope ass projects.
Yeah. So with handling both these, right? Do you feel that you'll step away from one, or do you think you're still gonna rock both?
It's hella funny 'cause like I just like I don't know. I like what's the word I'm looking for?
Good question.
I just like come back and forth, you know? Like I'll be in the Tsunami, mode one day, doing hella like work on Tsunami, and then the next day I'll just, I'll get down with some. It all depends on my mood, Am I more cinematic, or am I more like funky right now? Do I feel more hood right now, or like am I more in my reserved state of mind? And when I'm in that, it's like Tsunami, So it's kind of interesting, like like I use it to craft my personality almost.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So doing all of this, do you feel that like this shit is kind of easy? Cause like what you're saying is kind of doesn't seem like hard, It just seems like time consuming.
Now it's kind of easy because I'm more organized. But when I first started, it was not. And like, cause there's a lot to it. It's not easy.
No, I get it. It's a lot. That's what I'm saying. Time consuming. Like you have to do hella shit.
But you're right though. It's not really hard though. If you're willing to put in the time, you could probably do it.
Yeah,
you could probably do it. You know what I mean? Because it's just a lot of work, and it's not necessarily difficult in terms of skill. It's just a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I have a question. Like, how does it work so you don't get sued or like someone comes steals your idea?
Honestly, going back to what I was saying in the beginning, like that's one of the things that I haven't yet got to. So like, I've never had an issue with it. Like I've had artists that were dissatisfied with the service that that Tsunami gave, and they asked to have their catalog removed. And like of course I removed it. You know what I mean? I gave them back the song, their rights, everything. Like I'm not gonna like. No.
Yeah.
By contract, you are signed.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Why on earth would I do that? So,
yeah.
So, like, legally, I haven't had any issue. And I try to get in that position where, like, I'm not going to work with anyone that, I feel like I might have a legal issue with later.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even like contracts, to be honest. I would rather not sign a contract with the artist. And most artists are cool with that.
Yeah.
Because it also feels to them like, all right, he's like, he's human about it.
I could trust this dude.
Yeah, exactly. Like, as ironic as it is, I mean? Like, that's true.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels like that. So, because, if you pull up a contract, like, if someone demands a contract, it makes me uneasy. Not at their fault. Like, having a contract is hella encouraged, you know what I mean? Especially if you're in, like, major labels and shit. But, like, you're like, when they say that, it's like, you don't trust me? Like you said, like, what? Like...
Well,
I'm finna rob you.
I feel I would think the same way because this is all online. You're not meeting anyone personal.
That's true.
You know, so I would feel like, I don't trust you.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true. But I mean, like, if you're an established label, though, you know what I mean, and the community kind of knows you and stuff, and it's like, nigga, give me that contract, sign here.
Yeah,
I get how much percentage? All right. Wait, what? Tell me again. I forgot. It's like. Like, it's kind of scary. It's intimidating.
It is a lot. It is a lot, though.
So I kind of like to work with people who are very easy in business. You know what I mean? So
that's all about building the community too. There.
Yeah.
So it all makes sense because everyone wants that. Everyone wants to be at ease.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to do that when it's like strictly business.
Exactly.
But there still does have to be business with it. Attached
that's
to this movement.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like all your stuff is like legit though? Like it's copyrighted and stuff?
Yeah, so I talk with my tax guy and I feel like that
tax guy is smart, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That's kind of the thing that probably matters most. So I talked to him with it all and he actually put me on game. So most people would be like, yeah, register an LLC, right?
Everyone says that.
Everyone says that.
What the hell is that though?
So I asked my tax guy. I was like, should I do an
Everyone
LLC?
says LLC, yeah.
And he was like, no, don't do that. And I was like, what you talking about? Why? And so I guess when you do an LLC, right? So yeah, so when you do
This
an
comes
LLC,
from a tax dude who does paperwork.
exactly, and like he's kind of specialized in business too, so it was
Oh,
like
sick.
it was perf. But he basically said in order to be certified with an LLC, you have to pay. I think it was like a $900 fee annually.
Annually?
So just signing up, you would have to pay $900, and in order to do that, you would have to get an attorney, and you would have to have this person like do all kind of legal shit and like stamp it, and that has its own fines and fees. You have to go to the court and do that shit. And most people don't do that. They just sign up and thinking they're an LLC.
It's a wrap,
They don't go through the full process, so it's like not even legitimate for most people. And you have to do this every year. And this is the process of being an LLC. So usually, what he told me, usually people that do LLCs like have legal teams who can do this. Not like people like me who are just like, doing my shit. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I do is file my shit as miscellaneous income because he says like that's
Legally?
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
And so when you file as miscellaneous income, you can still create like a business profile.
Okay.
Like this was created via a merchant type shit, And so that's pretty much how it's set up. And by doing that, I'm avoiding this like big ass fee and like legal shit.
Yeah.
And
Loophole.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But if someone wants to steal my shit, what are they gonna do? Just create a new profile like Tsunami Sounds, and like what? People are gonna know that it's not me, and like I don't know. I'm kind of like maybe I'm being cocky, but I'm pretty confident that like I can outwork another person if they're trying to like compete with me. It's like, bro, just stop.
Yeah.
I do this shit every day, every night. Just don't.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like I'm not really concerned about people like stealing the brand. You know what I mean? Because like I don't think we're that big yet, but like if we get there, I don't know. I'm not really that concerned.
No. Just fucking start a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
Just tell everyone, hey,
we changed our name.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's cool, dude. Out of all of this, right? Did you ever have fear, or where you just balls out and just like Tsunami Sound?
There was a couple times where, it's kind of like nerve wracking. Like the night before Waves is about to drop digitally, or Genesis is about to drop digitally. There's always a fear of like, fuck, it's not gonna show up, or like everyone's name's gonna be spelled different, like dumb shit like that, like, and that shit does happen, So there's always that fear, but yeah, like fear though, like not really. Like I've always approached it very curiously, like let's do it, like let's run it, like I'm like how I do this, how I do that, let's do it. Like I've always just like asked how to do it. I've never asked like how is this gonna make me feel.
Yeah. So you never had fear of growth?
Not really.
What a
like I want to grow because I'm tired of being where I'm at.
You feel me? Not gonna lie, I have fear.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, but
no, I feel it. I feel it.
It's just like it's still like when you have fear. When I have fear, it's kind of like the butterflies, and it's just like like I'm kind of like anxious. You know what I mean?
That's true. I do get that. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, it's not really fear as in like, oh shit, I don't want to do that. It's just like, oh fuck, this is happening.
Yeah, you can't stop.
Yeah,
exactly.
Can't
slow down. It's like, yeah, I feel that. I feel like, like some of the calls I go on with like fucking uppity up person of the company, it's like I'm talking to like fucking God right now.
Can't sound dumb.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like they're hella chill, but like still, it's like they're fucking let me take their hella valuable ass time.
Answer questions.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel that I do have fear sometimes in that sense.
Yeah. So, out of all this, right, just mainly distribution, and what else would you say to start a record label? Starting the record label 101.
To start a label, definitely distribution, and you would need a brand. Like
just the name and logo?
Name, logo, yeah. Name, logo, yeah. Color scheme, you know what I mean? General mission statement, like reason for being. Like there's a lot of labels that are just kind of basic, and I guess that's cool, doing their thing. But like I prefer, if you're running a brand or a platform, especially in music, you should kind of like represent something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, have a movement.
Yeah. So So yeah, that's my advice. Just like distribution, branding, that, and just like just meet people. That's like number one actually, because like meeting people will allow you to open all these doors. You don't got to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All these people will help you along the way.
Nice.
And that's honestly the most important part of being a label, because like all this shit that I have is because of other people. Yeah, everything.
So I know you talk to like hella fucking executives and stuff. Like, what is like a couple of the questions that you asked and they gave like fire ass answers?
Good question. I do ask people. I always ask people what they foresee coming in the industry or whatever. You know, like, what do you think's gonna happen in the next so and so? Like,
that's a good
based
question.
on this, because I like to see the way people think, and you know, that reveals to me like what they currently think it is now. You know what I mean? Or like, you know, so like it helps me kind of put pieces together. So I ask that a lot. What else do I ask? Let me see here.
That's a good ass question to start off though.
Yeah.
Like, where do you see this growth ending?
Yeah, exactly. And like, so like regarding questions, it's good to be bold. A lot of people are kind of afraid to ask, you know what I mean? Kind of the scarier questions, like what do you think about what I'm doing?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like asking you straight up.
That is
like,
a scary question.
You know, break me down.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are not willing to do that
Uh-huh.
because that's just kind of like, you know, it's putting the spotlight on you. It's putting them in a situation too. You know what I mean? It's like, it's awkward. But like, if you do it, you do it, and you reap the rewards of it. You know, and like back when I worked at Target, I used to do this all the time. Like every new store manager we brought in or executive, like after working with them for a bit, I would sit down and be like, you know, what do you think about performance? Like, what would the best team leader do in your opinion?
That's
you know
ballsy
I mean?
as fuck.
It is, and it's weird. And dude, I remember this one time when Tyler Hersom, the store manager, just came in, right? Like all the other executives were scared, and like they're like, oh, because he was kind of like a, you know, like a leader, you know what I mean, type guy. And this one day, hella busy at the front, and like our fucking cart attendant was like lagging, you know, but it was hot, it was like summer, and the store manager came out and there's like no carts, and he was just like, where the fuck are the carts at? And just like roasted the fool basically over the walkie. And like he roasted the fool like in the front of the store, and the fool was hella mad. And so he, you know, he didn't quit, but like he kind of like walked off. You know what I mean? Understandably, I would have
get disrespected in front of the whole store.
Exactly, and you know what I mean. So me seeing this, I was like, bro, that was fucked up. And you know, I'm the manager of the front, so that was my team member. You know what I mean? Now my team member's affected, and I gotta do other shit. I gotta go push carts now. You know what I mean? So after that was over, I walked straight to this fool's office, and I basically had a conversation with him. I was like, bro, this is what was going on. You know what I mean? Like, this is what the fuck was happening, and you weren't even there to see that. You just came out and just did this shit, made him look bad, made him mad, understandably, and this is just what's up.
Escalated.
You know what I mean? And, you know, so I told him that, and I basically, you know, like, it was just the act of, like, bringing it up. You know what I mean? And so from there, he actually got hella respect from me. And so, like, me and him became hella cool after that conversation, actually. Like, because he knew that we can go on that deeper level on leadership. You know what I mean? Like, put you in your place if you need to be, you know? And I feel like if you act like that with other people, like, if you're bold enough to, like, ask that question or tell you, like, if you're slipping, that, like, kind of dynamic is powerful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what has led me to, like, grow in the ways that I have. You know what I mean?
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
What other questions do you ask those fucking execs when you're on the phone? $100 hour ass conversations.
Let me pull up one. Because I actually have a file, and it's just like,
oh, for real?
Questions to ask like certain people. Yeah,
dude,
it's like
sick.
based on their specialties.
Nice.
Let me see here. One that I asked was like how to promote your back catalog. That was good because like at this point we have hundreds of songs in our catalog. Like how do you go back and like, you know, like what do you do with that catalog? Because that's our product.
Yeah.
It's just it's just an inventory right now. It's not even being like on the shelves.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So that was a question I had. Like, how the fuck do you promote your back catalog?
Shit.
Like, you know, what's your general opinion of Tsunami, and what would you be doing differently if you ran it?
Ooh, that's a good one.
You know, what tips do you have for me trying to push the Japanese scene as he does with his regional one?
Do you remember any of these answers?
I do, yeah.
Like for the Tsunami one, like what would you do if you fucking had this label?
He said, I think he said that like some along the lines of like our projects weren't yet like when you see it you're like that's Tsunami. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But,
okay.
You know, but he said though to our defense like he's not really super familiar with the label, so like that, you know, I do feel like, you know, he's right, but we are in our first stages, you know.
Yeah.
This kind of sealed that, and then volume 2, and then we have this other one coming, and as soon as that drops around summer, like we should be established.
Mm-hmm.
But like you know, that was a solid one.
That's a good response.
You know what I mean? And like it was a point where I realized our label is more artist centered. It's not necessarily like a passive playlist streamer type audience. You know what I mean? Or like normies or whatever. Like we're not a normie kind of like niche. Like the people who like the label are producers. You know what I mean? And we like sharing our music to each other. So once I realized this, you know, I brought that up just to see his general perspective. And then, you know, if this was his advantage, how would you push it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like what opportunities would you try to be pursuing? You know what I mean?
Jeez. Do you know the answer?
Let me see. I think for that it was around physicals. For this conversation, it was good because I was going into it like kind of jaded that we weren't getting streaming support. Like at this point, we had no editorials. Right now, we have like 10.
Oh, okay.
So and this was like 2 months ago.
Damn.
So it's kind of like ASAP. But so yeah, so I went in this conversation like lacking on streaming, and you know, his advice, and like, you know, after hearing everything I was saying and shit about being a concept, you know, like all these big ass projects and shit, he said that maybe our advantage is physicals, and maybe we're just that type of brand that, you know, it's like a high ticket type
that
shit.
niche.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Maybe our shit, we're not that type of label to just like dominate streaming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like understandably, like the music on here, it's not weird, but you wouldn't hear this on like, you know,
Nothing.
like a lo-fi. Yeah, you know what I mean?
You wouldn't hear it on the radio.
Exactly.
Nothing really.
You know what I mean? So it's very niche, but it's dope as fuck, and the people that understand it like hella vibe with it. You know what I mean? So he helped me understand that like maybe this is just my niche, and like I could, you know, I can succeed at streaming, but that's not my main thing, and I shouldn't be mad at that. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that was
pretty
that.
much like enhance your strengths.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Focus on what is working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Focus on shit that you have going for you. You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, so explain what editorials is.
Yeah. So that's like, if like Spotify has their main playlist that they run, and they're like hella big at like 500,000 or more subscribers, and so they like blow you up in terms of like stats and shit and money, and so they like in the community, like, you know, it's common that, you know, an artist, you know, or that someone might know gets one. You know, it's not like super rare, but it's like selective. You know, if you get one, it's like bruh, lottery day. You know, because that's at least like maybe $1,000 at least.
What does it do though?
So basically, your song gets put on their playlist.
Oh,
and it's
shit.
just
On
hella
Spotify
subscribers.
playlist?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
So it's just hella subscribers, and then like they listen to it, and then all that just is streaming income. And
holy fuck.
Yeah. So our first one was like with Loki, and that was actually an A&R track. So I had like brought on a couple people as an A&R, and this A&R submitted this song. This song, it landed on one, and that's the one that's at 990 million or 990,000 right now.
That's so sick.
Yeah. So, and then since then we've gotten a lot of ambient editorials, like 7, thanks to, you know, Andrew, shout out, Finn, and yeah, like now we've gotten a lot of editorial love, especially from Japan. Japan's showing us a lot of editorial love.
That's tight.
And so it's all about strategy, you know, like. Before I was like, they're just not fucking with us, you know, and just like being hella kid about it. And like now I realize it's just work that you got to put in, and moves you got to make, certain moves you got to make. You know what I mean? And like you're either making them or you're not. And like now we're kind of making them, and the results are showing. You know what I mean? So these are basically like what everyone's kind of going for. It's
Yeah.
like they're the cash grabs. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And if you're selected, then you're selected, and you get cashed out at least like maybe $1,000, if more. You know, in you know, if it keeps going.
So is it like randomly selected?
Now there's like they have a team.
Oh, they have a team.
They have a team. They I'm not exactly sure how it works. Like they supposedly listen to every submission that gets sent that you know
Yeah.
that they submit, but I don't know.
So it's pretty much like Tsunami Sounds like times 1,000.
Yeah, basically. Basically.
Yeah. So about the A&Rs, right?
Uh-huh.
How many do you have on deck?
Kind of like 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm. Can
But-
anyone be an A&R?
Basically, yeah. Like
Sick.
I mean, if you were to inbox me, and like this has happened, like my friend Garrett, he's on this. He inboxed me. He's like, bro, I think you'd like this artist. And it's like the firest album I've ever heard. And it's unreleased, and he's looking for a label. I'm like, bro, what the hell? And we ended up signing it, you know. And so I gave him a cut of it, you know, because like
Sick.
they technically A&R'd that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So that is that easy, and you know, that's dope to me.
And so what is it? Is it pretty much just someone coming up here and it's like, check this out, and they get a cut of it?
Yeah, I mean it's deeper depending on like how deep you want to go with it. Like for me at this point, it's just like it's just like creative directing the sound in terms of like bringing certain talent in based on what their style is, you
Mhm.
know. But like the bigger you get, that A&R goes into like developing the artist, you know, and like we're kind of doing that now with like the blogs and shit, like with J.C on Twilight Grooves.
Yeah.
He was like the one that I hella started with, where I started like doing a brand, like kind of like identity for him. We had a string of singles that was released, and I commissioned the same person to do the design, so they were all cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then we finished it with the album, and then we're dropping more singles consecutively. And then recently 2 of his shits got picked up on the editorials.
Fresh.
And so, yeah, so he's finna hit 1 million soon.
That's tight,
You
bro.
know what I mean? And before that, like, he didn't really have much. The label didn't have much. But together, like, we hella blew up. And, you know what I mean?
Team effort.
Yeah. And so that's dope as shit.
That's fresh, dude.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I always like to ask this: what is the best advice you've ever heard or received?
Ooh. Good. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I think I was saying this last time, but yeah, I was having this conversation with this dude. I don't even know who he was or what he was doing there, but like he was just there, and he basically told me that you will never get promoted if you just do your job, and that's hella true, because like, you know, even working at Target, people would always be jaded that they're not selected for like leadership or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's like maybe I'm just like over competitive. But I look at them and I'm like, you're not even trying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing that people should break their neck to look at you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so you don't gotta go all crazy, but like, especially if you're chasing something. If you're chasing something, like, you can't just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like casually.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, you can, but like, if you're really trying to make moves, you gotta actively. It's an uphill battle. You know what I mean? You gotta put in more energy than you're thinking. You know what I mean? And so generally, you know, if you just do your job, if you just do enough, like, you're not gonna really go nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta kind of do more than that. So that's the best advice that I think I've got.
And you put that energy towards the record labels.
Definitely, like if I were to die today, like, as grim as that sounds, like, I have no regrets, because I know how, you know, the energy I put, and I know I've been there every fucking morning. You know what I mean? Like, everybody else has seen it too, and like, so yeah, I'm not tripping. Like, I know I've put in the work.
Nice.
But yeah.
Sweet, dude.
Flex.
Before we get out, any shout outs?
Many. Everyone in the Tsunami support chats, the Tsunami love group. That's like 40 people.
Hella heads.
Shoot, Mark and Behind Walls Media, Twilight Grooves, J.C, Nell Gabriel. That label's gonna be crazy. Freaking.
Seems like
Yeah.
it's already growing right now, dude.
Yeah, we have a new single dropping tomorrow, actually.
Say that shit.
What?
What's the name of it?
Oh, from Nell Gabriel. It's called Atlantic Drive. Get that shit. It's funky. It's funky.
Nice,
It's funky.
dude.
And the people ain't ready.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's gonna be popping.
That's tight, bro. Where can they find you at?
Tsunami-sounds.com and twilightgrooves.com. Those two websites you can find everything. Or damonb.design. And that's me.
Those are websites?
Yeah, the websites.
Fresh,
And I prefer websites because if Facebook goes down, I lose all Facebook. If Instagram goes down, I lose all Instagram. But they can't take my website down.
Yeah.
That's mine. So yeah.
Right on, brother.
Do what you want to do though. I'm on Instagram.
Nice. And it's pretty much the same shit though.
Yeah, same shit.
Sweet. Thanks for coming, brother.
Much appreciated.
Damon Broussard, Twilight Grooves,
Tsunami Sounds.
Tsunami Sounds.